What stood out from week number 8? Let's get into it. If this doesn't go down as the funniest moment of the NFL season, I want to see which one tops it. Tyrique Stevenson, a cornerback for the Bears, while the ball was snapped and the ball was in play, decides to start waving off some Commanders fans and heckling the crowd. Meanwhile, Jayden Daniels is scrambling in the middle of it and looking to get off this Hail Mary pass. And the guy who batted the ball to Noah Brown for the game-losing touchdown was the same guy heckling, Tyrique Stevenson. It was so embarrassing he went to social media and apologized to his teammates. The Panthers, who have now lost 5 straight, have had enough. And Jaycee Horn went up to the Broncos coach Sean Payton, voiced his displeasure when the Broncos went for a fake field goal attempt up 28-7. I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but I like teams that play to win, so I'm with Sean Payton here. You want to not get blown out? Don't let them score 28 points on you. In what's a pretty shocking development, the Colts have benched Anthony Richardson. Joe Flacco will start Sunday night versus Minnesota. Richardson did not have a great game once again. He did suffer from some receiver drops, so his day could have been better, but besides completing 31% of his passes, which is abysmal, he had this moment on Sunday during the game when he took himself out on a 3rd and long because he was quote-unquote tired. I've never seen a quarterback do that. I figured maybe he was banged up because his leg kind of bent awkwardly the play before that, but turns out no, the guy was just tired. So the Colts at 4-4 turned to Joe Flacco. The Texans won by 3. The benching of Anthony Richardson may have had something to do with this as well. 3rd and 3 on your own 11-yard line, 34 seconds left before halftime, and Richardson forces this terrible pass that gets intercepted. This led to a Houston touchdown right before the half, just stuff you cannot do. It was a rough Sunday afternoon for the Seahawks, so rough that their own defensive players started fighting each other. Without DK Metcalf, the offense was pretty dead, and James Cook destroyed them on the ground. Find you an offensive lineman that protects you like Bradley Bosman protects Justin Herbert. On this tackle by Nathan Shepard, which honestly looked like a pretty dirty play considering Herbert got rid of the ball, Bosman was not having it. He slammed Shepard in the ground and called this one of the dirtier plays he's seen, and honestly he has a point. Justice was served here. The man, the myth, the legend, just not the Patriots fans. Chad Ryland had another game-winning field goal. The Cardinals spoiled the return of Tua Tagovailoa, but at least their offense looked competent for the first time in a while. Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride absolutely tore up this Dolphins secondary, and they now dropped to 2-5. There were a lot of Jalen Hurts as a fraud allegations the first month of the year, but not so much anymore. The Eagles got themselves a big win in Cincinnati, a game that for a lot of it was pretty close, but the Eagles pulled away big time in the 4th quarter. The big play was Jalen Hurts finding Devontae Smith for a 45-yard touchdown, and there was also this really cool tipped interception where Isaiah Rodgers deflected it to his teammate CJ Gardner-Johnson, and the Eagles picked off Joe Burrow in the 4th quarter. The Bengals are now 3-5, the Eagles are 5-2. We were so close to seeing Kyle Pitts pull a Deshaun Jackson. For those unfamiliar, a Deshaun Jackson is when a player has a long touchdown, but right before they score, they drop the ball before the goal line. It's one of the more inexplicable and stupid plays you'll see in football. And Kyle Pitts honestly on the broadcast looked like he was shy of the goal line, but after reviewing this play, they did call it a touchdown. And of course the NFL, the multi-billion-dollar industry it is, did not have the pylon camera at this game. Why? I do not know. But ultimately, it may have saved the Falcons 7 points, and Kyle Pitts from embarrassment. And considering the Falcons won by 5 points in this one, that came in handy. Next time, let's just cross the goal line, please. It reminds me of that play back in like 2018 when the Bears had a blocked punt on the Steelers right before halftime, and the man that returned the ball for the Bears just decides to be lazy right around the goal line, and instead of crossing the goal line, the ball gets fumbled as Vance McDonald chased him down, and it resulted in a touchback and no points. That stuff must drive coaches crazy. Thursday night football was fun. We saw Puka Nacua return, we saw Cooper Kupp return. Both guys looked really good, but the way the game ended was really terrible. The refs missed one of the more obvious face mask calls you'll ever see. So bad that the Rams edge rusher Byron Young literally put his hands over his head realizing he made a giant mistake. But luckily for him, I guess the refs were blind and didn't see it. It was such a bad missed call that LASIK.com had a post about it saying better vision, better calls, with a picture of the ref looking right at Sam Darnold's face mask getting yanked. And maybe they would not have won anyway, but the game ending like that was just pretty shitty. The Ravens had a rough loss on Sunday, and so did some of the players battling the sun. I couldn't find the clip, but even Xavier Legette for the Panthers had a drop because of the sun in Denver. But on this play in the 4th quarter, Lamar Jackson rolls to his right, buys time, goes into the sun, and throws one downfield that hits Rashad Bateman in the face mask and bounces away. Turns out he lost the ball in the sun. But if he had caught this ball, they're back in field goal range and can tie the game up or maybe take the lead. But fear not, because the Ravens just traded for Deontay Johnson today, so more help's on the way. Adam Troutman was everybody's favorite tight end sleeper the year he entered the draft, because we figured he might make plays like this. A beautiful up-the-seam team one-handed catch to give the Broncos a 14-7 lead. The Giants ran a 2-point conversion so bad that it reminded me of the Griff Whalen and Pat McAfee Colts play. They took a page right out of the meme machine offense from the longest yard, but unfortunately for the Giants, none of the 5 or 6 blockers were ready for the snap. So Alex Highsmith came in, blew the play up, and it never had a chance of working. And honestly, if this was completed, maybe it would have worked. But timing is everything, and it seemed like nobody was ready. Let's play a fun game here of what do you think happens next? Does Daniel Jones check it down to his running back for a gain of about 5 yards? Does he take a shot to the end zone? Does he check it down to his open tight end over the middle? Or does he overthrow the running back and have a game-losing interception? If you answered D, you were correct. We saw this roughing the passer call on Pat Mahomes, and I thought it was horrendous. Edge rusher Kayvon Chaisson clearly does make contact with him well after the throw, but he really barely touched him. And Mahomes, like a soccer player, falls to the ground and throws his hands up and does get the call. I personally am not a fan of this. And when I put this on Twitter, a lot of angry Chiefs fans were in my mentions. But I don't know, I'm not even a Mahomes hater, I just think this is a flop. The Lions have now had a few games where their offense looks so good. Jared Goff had a grand total of 15 throws, and the Lions still scored 52 points. And a crazier stat is that the Lions as an offense ran 47 total plays. They had more total points than total offensive plays. Like, when does that ever happen? They ended up with 7 touchdowns, one was a punt return by Khalif Raymond, and by the early second quarter, it looked like we might have a game here. But then the Lions scored 38 unanswered, and that's the final score. The clown-ass Jets, they lost again. They acquired Devontae Adams, they've lost 2 straight with him, and overall, that's 5 losses in a row. The Broncos, Vikings, Bills, Steelers, and Patriots. And the crazy part is, Drake May left this game in the first half with a concussion, so they really lost to Jacoby Brissett. In fairness, Greg Zuerlein has missed some kicks this year, and his missed field goal in this game definitely was a difference. I am done having hope in this team, they suck. On Sunday night, Dak Prescott had a couple of interceptions, and although they tried to make a late comeback, they came up just short. The Niners scored 21 unanswered points in the third quarter, and that was too much for them to handle. Dallas is 3-4. Here's a crazy stat for you. Deshaun Watson had 19 career starts as a Cleveland Brown. Deshaun Watson never had a game over 300 passing yards as the Browns quarterback. Jameis Winston in just one game had 334. Honestly, if they had started Jameis all year, they might be a playoff team right now. But overall, I'm happy for Jameis, and as usual, he had some great sound bites from this game. That'll do it for this video of what happened in week number 8. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe if you did, and I'll talk to you guys next time.